Property rights are the bedrock upon which wealth creation is built. Property rights provides individuals and businesses with security and confidence to invest, take risks, and also have control over their assets. Regardless, property rights is an indispensable tool for creating wealth as it provides an environment for secured ownership where investors are willing to trade and invest. Let's proceed to learn from experts in the economic sector.
Property rights refers to the legal ownership and control of resources, which could include land, businesses, or intellectual property.
From the onset, property right has to do with a legal framework that gives an individual the control, the ownership, the transfer, and the use of assets, which can be physical, as in land, and can be intangible, as in intellectual properties.
Now, with property rights, you can easily trade whatever goods you have in the formal economy. You don't have to look for a black market, for example, or spend time in the informal economy to trade your goods. So because there's a formal economy, because there's a legal title to that property, you are much more likely to trade it in formal markets, which increase liquidity and optimize resource allocation. Another thing which I think is crucial is that it reduces conflict and uncertainty. Now, in places where there are clear property rights, they are less likely to be disputes over land or resources, and this fosters stability and allows for long-term economic development.
And as these rights of properties are given to people, it helps the individuals to participate in economic activities, to bring about increased output. And these rights are given, it brings about market efficiency. It also brings about the reduction of costs. Now, we also have the generation of capital and its accumulation, and several other factors that we see to improve economic development when these rights are given.
I think the first one is that it encourages long-term planning. Now, if I own a business and I want to expand, I'm sure that I have legal certainty over the ownership of my land, over the ownership of whatever asset I buy, over the ownership of maybe if the oil in the ground, for example. If I own a piece of land that had oil in the ground, I have subsurface rights to that oil. I'm more likely to invest in the long term, thinking about how I can provide these resources over time, because I know I'm going to benefit from whatever income comes out of that business endeavor. Number two, which I think is most important, is that it enhances enhances access to credit. So with secured property rights, people and businesses can use their assets, land, or other resources as collateral for loans, which can stimulate economic activity.
When we talk about investment, you cannot invest what you don't have. Of course, definitely, if you say, I don't have this, but you have the opportunity for credit, you can. At the same time, before you can get opportunity for credit, there must be what? A collateral. So whether you have the capital upfront or you are going through the route of credit through the collateral, is still based on what? Property. So without this property right, investment in the first place will not take place. Entrepreneur, we're talking about being innovative. If I know that my innovation, ordinarily, innovation is a property, and because it comes from my intellect, if I know that my intellectual works are preserved by a legal standing, it will encourage me to think more. It will help me to go more into R&D, that's research and development. And then by that, it will expand what? Innovation. And once you innovate, of course, definitely, you want to turn it into commercial output, which leads you to entrepreneurship. And then once you enter entrepreneurship, you begin to produce goods and services that will catalyze the economic activities of the environment. So, without property rights, innovation will not be encouraged, entrepreneurship will not be encouraged.
People can easily own land without issues, because right now it's just a mess on how people can own land. First of all, you can't own land in fee simple in Nigeria. That means you can't own land in perpetuity. The government owns all the land. And secondly, the government gives you the right to occupy the land for 99 years. But if we're able to fix this properly, if we're able to think through how to properly define a land tenure system where people can own property or own land or have property in land in fee simple, we would address our housing issues.
If we have a good and laid down property right, it will help a lot of persons to invest in this food sector and housing sector. And don't forget, everything has to do with investment. If I know that my investment is not safe because I don't have the legal backing to that property, I rather not go there. So when we want to see increased food production and more of housing, we need to work on the property right that envelopes the acquisition, the ownership, the use and the transference of properties.